Shanghai's 28 million residents are breathing a sigh of relief today, with the city finally released from lockdown. Welcome to the Daily Forkast, June 1st, 2022. I'm Megha Chaddah of Forkast, covering all things blockchain. While barriers remained in place around some residential blocks in Shanghai yesterday, there were also moves being made to prepare the city for a return to normal life today. But will the reopening offer a boost for global markets and crypto? We'll take a look at that plus a whole lot more coming up. Let's get you up to speed from Asia to the world.
Join thousands of NFT traders who already start their day on CryptoSlam.
Let's kick off with the launch of a new digital assets initiative in Singapore. In a speech yesterday, Deputy Prime Minister Heng Swee Keat announced the launch of Project Guardian, a collaborative initiative bringing the financial industry together with the Monetary Authority of Singapore, or MAS, to explore asset tokenization. The project aims to investigate the economic potential and value-adding use cases of tokenization while managing risks to financial stability and integrity. The pilot, which will be led by DBS Bank, JP Morgan and MarketNode, involves creation of a permissioned liquidity pool comprising tokenized bonds and deposits. It aims to carry out secured borrowing and lending on a public blockchain-based network through the execution of smart contracts. 4 main areas will be explored as part of the project: open interoperable networks, trust anchors, asset tokenization, and institutional-grade DeFi protocols. The MAS says it welcomes what it calls responsible digital innovation initiatives from the industry, inviting submission of any proposals to the fintech regulatory sandbox for experimentation. The move comes at a time when the city-state is gathering steam to position itself as a hub for crypto service providers while holding on to its reputation as an important watchdog in the global anti-money laundering and anti-terrorist financing compliance mechanism. Over in South Korea, fintech company Dunamu has denied making over $100 million off Luna. Multiple local media reports last week alleged that Dunamu, which operates the country's largest crypto exchange Upbit, made the profit from a 2018 investment in Luna Classic, which was named Luna at the time. In April 2018, Dunamu and Partners, the company's investment arm, reportedly purchased about 20 million Luna tokens worth a total of 3.24 billion Korean won, or just over $2.6 million. Upbit listed the LUNC coin in 2019 on its BTC market, while publicly notifying that it held the currency for investment purposes. Local media reported that Dunamu and Partners sold off all of the tokens in February last year, earning $105 million in profit. Reports also suggested that Dunamu's founder and chairman, Song Chi-hyung, as well as its executive vice president and second major shareholder, Kim Hyung-neon, participated in the founding of Dunamu and Partners. Dunamu has now rebutted the claim, saying the Dunamu and Partners' decision to invest in LUNC was taken independently, although the parent company was made aware of the decision. It also said Dunamu swapped LUNC into 2,081.85 bitcoins on a foreign exchange at a 25% discount to the then market price. It went on to say that it still holds the swapped Bitcoin, providing wallet addresses as evidence. The company also clarified that South Korea does not allow corporations to trade crypto with the Korean won and reappraised the unrealized profit to around $33 million after investment costs and taxes were paid out. According to Dunamu, LUNC was a prominent investment at the time and it maintained transparency over the investment. You can find those stories and more at Forkast.News. Meanwhile, in China, after 2 months of strict lockdowns to prevent the spread of COVID-19, the city of Shanghai was finally released from lockdown today. It's hoped the easing of restrictions will provide a much-needed boost to the country's economy, but will markets react favorably? Forecast Lachlan Keller reports.
Most of Shanghai's roughly 28 million residents were largely confined to their homes from April 1st as part of China's zero COVID policy, which is an attempt to prevent any community spread of the disease. And following an announcement on Monday, those restrictions have now been eased. However, residents are still required to show negative COVID test results not more than 48 hours old to enter public places, and queues to get tested can be long. While some big supermarkets were already back in action yesterday, the owner of one small dairy shop told Forkast he believed his orders would not catch up in time and that reopening will be delayed by a day or two. As the world's second largest economy and major producer of global consumer goods, the country's extended lockdowns have added macroeconomic headwinds facing both traditional and crypto markets as supply chain shortages have continued to drive inflation. And though the easing of restrictions in Shanghai could bring some relief, one industry watcher says not so fast.
The problem for China and for the supply chains is going to be that we're going to continue to see these localized clusters or outbreaks coming through, and the authorities having to try and lock that down. And that's still going to mean that there is a question mark over supply chains, a question mark over whether lorry drivers are going to be able to come in and go out and that sort of thing. So opening up is a good thing, but the fact that they're still going to maintain this zero COVID policy, I think, is a big overhang still on the markets.
Sullivan went on to say that the continued zero COVID policy is also making some companies rethink their operations.
People will be moving their supply chains or trying to rejig them into ways that, even if China continues to do that, they are less and less impacted by it. That will be bad for China, bad for China's growth, and that ultimately will be bad for the global growth, because the two are very closely linked.
The hesitation over the economic impact of the easing was reflected in major Asian stock markets, with none moving more than a percentage point by early Wednesday afternoon, while crypto markets remained relatively unaffected after most major tokens received a 5 to 10% shot in the arm earlier this week. For Forkast, I'm Lachlan Keller.
There are 5,000 limited edition NFTs up for grabs at the French Open, which is currently underway. Each Roland Garros NFT is a unique virtual numbered seat on the Philippe Chartier court, and it comes with some rather exclusive perks. Johan Kalpe, VP Chief Marketing Officer at CryptoSlam, a cross-chain NFT data tracker and aggregator, joins in now to talk about this convergence of sport and the world of collectibles on NFT Insider. Great to see you again, Johan.
Great to see you too, Megha.
We're beginning to see some rather interesting experiences for sports fans. Those who mint the French Open NFT could win match tickets for 2023 or one of the 55 physical balls that are being played on the center court. Have you taken a look?
I have, and this is kind of like a sports fan's fantasy. They're getting involved, they're getting engaged, they're getting the ball of the game. I could see just so much engagement and so much happiness being brought to fans because of this type of setup with NFTs, and it takes it to another level. It gives them something to collect in digital and physical form as well too. So I love it. I love the model. I hope it takes off, and I hope it gets some new people into NFTs that didn't think about them before.
Now, eBay has launched its first NFT drop, which is hockey themed, and it comes in different price tiers. But what I find rather interesting is that despite being one of the oldest e-commerce retailers in the world, they don't have the tech know-how to sell it themselves and are using another Web3 marketplace. Your thoughts?
Well, the technology to connect to a public blockchain, even a private blockchain, is getting to know smart contracts very natively, and there are different blockchains out there. I mean, we have 15 plus on our website, and each sometimes they all have their different nuance, and I'm not surprised that eBay is having a trouble with that, because the code on the back end is it's intensive to crawl and intensive to pull data off the chain.
And being a sports fan is also all about being a part of the community, part of a group, and a free-to-play platform called Stakes is giving you a chance to predict what might happen in your next favorite game. And if you are the winner, you can mint that pick as an NFT. Do you see any value in this?
Yeah, it sounds like a different model for sports gambling, which has always been successful and always tried, and I feel like that is a winner if it's done well and if it has the right regulatory approval and the compliance on the local jurisdictions. But yes, definitely things that keep people involved and keep people engaged. Sports fans love to bet on the game. It just makes the game 10 times as interesting when you have some money on there, when you're getting a prize too, especially. So great model, and I hope to see more of these type of things. And yes, definitely it brings value to the fan. What we're also seeing is like we're seeing esports pick up. So I am a big sports fan. I love baseball, I love basketball, football, all of those sports. And now we're seeing like esports come into play, where we just have different GameFi, just like what we know as like play to earn is kind of evolving now to a different model, engage to earn, or just different models of accumulating some sort of value back out of the sport. And we're seeing things like that in Wolf Game, Crypto Unicorns, just different projects like that that have different models where the player can play and sit back in our computer and participate in a type of sport, and increase engagement that way too as well.
Well, it's all about building that community and having that sense of belonging, isn't it, Johan? Thanks as always for joining in.
Thanks, Megha, for having me. Have a nice week.
And that's the Daily Forecast from our vantage point right here in Asia. For more, visit Forkast.News. I'm Forkast Megha Chaddah. Until next time.